Right. So, Stephen, before we start, can you tell us about yourself and your teaching experience?
Sure. Well, I started teaching in New Zealand. I'm not actually an Aussie. I'm a Kiwi, but I've lived in Australia for a long time. So I taught kids for about 13 years, and then I've been teaching English to migrant adults since about 2004.
Excellent. Now, I've been teaching as well.
Yeah.
One of the questions my students ask me is that, okay, fine, they know the Aussie slang, but they don't know when to use this. Can you help us a little bit contextualizing
Sure.
these?
So all
slang.
of the things we're going to be looking at today, they're good to know, they're good to understand, and as you're saying, you need to know when to use them. So if you're going shopping at Bunnings, these would be fine. If you're talking with a tradie, a plumber or a carpenter who's at your house, they'd be fine. But if you're ringing to make a doctor's appointment, or if you're ringing work to say you can't come, you shouldn't use them.
All right, so let's have a look at these 10. You chose these 10 common ones. The first one is hard yakka.
So hard yakka means very hard work. So if someone's been digging a drain, laying a drain, and they're very tired at the end, they say, oh, that was hard yakka, mate. Very hard work.
That was hard work. Okay, excellent. Bludger? Bludger.
So a bludger is a person who doesn't like hard yakka.
Okay.
So a bludger,
The opposite.
it's the opposite.
The opposite. Okay.
Yeah. Well, a person who's a bludger, it's a very negative term to use about someone.
Okay.
It means they don't try, they don't make an effort, they're lazy, they don't contribute, they expect other people to do everything for them.
Okay.
It's a pretty derogatory thing to say.
Derogatory word to say. Okay. You would hear that mainly at work or something, or?
You could.
You could?
If they're good friends in Australian, they use these words as a way of joking. So, oh, come on, you bludger, get on with it.
Okay, get on
But
with it.
you'd have to be very good friends to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
My shout.
So it's part of being a good mate. If you go to the pub with your mates, maybe you might say, "I'll shout, fellas." So you'd buy the first round of drinks. Everybody would have a drink on you. You'd pay for it, but the expectation is somebody else should shout the next round.
Okay.
And if you do reciprocate, if you do shout for the others, that's very good manners. And it's seen to be a good sign of your character.
Oh, you have it. All right. So you would use my shout at a pub?
At a pub, possibly in other places, yeah. Usually it came from the pub because maybe near closing time, or not, even if you think of sheep shearers and they're all squashed into the pub, all talking loudly.
Yeah.
So if someone had to go to the bar and put their order, they might have to shout. So I think it probably came from that. When you went to the bar to order, you had to shout to the publican, so it became your shout.
Okay. Chuck a sickie. When can I chuck a sickie?
Okay, so we're lucky we live in Melbourne. This is being filmed in Melbourne. So if it's Melbourne Cup Day, we have a holiday, we don't have to chuck a sickie. But if you're in Sydney and you want to watch the race and you should be at work, you may chuck a sickie. So chuck a sickie is to pretend to be sick and not go to work. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with you, but you just don't go to work and you pretend you were sick. It's called chuck a sickie.
Something similar with chuck a sickie, right? Crook. Can I say
yeah, so if you're crook. Yeah, so if you're crook, you're sick. You're pretty sick. Oh, I'm feeling crook. Or a person is a crook, is untrustworthy. They're a thief, a robber. You shouldn't trust them. They're a crook. Yeah, I think both of them come from the idea of not being straight, because the shepherd's crook that a shepherd would have used to get sheep once upon a time, it's very bent and not straight. So I think it comes from that, not being quite right.
Okay. What about what's for tea? When I came to Australia, some people asked me what's for tea. I thought it was like tea or something, but I realized it's not tea.
So if you're having a cup of tea, that it would be like a cuppa. So if you talk about what's for tea, that's what we said when we were kids, when we were growing up. We'd come home from school, we'd say, "What's for tea, Mum?" And we meant what's for dinner. So tea is often used for dinner. And I think probably happened that in the past, our ancestors in England, they didn't have much money to go around, so they wanted to give something to the kids in the evening, but they had no food, so they'd cook they'd make a pot of tea, so at least the kids would feel full and feel warm. And then later times weren't so tough, so you had a bit of food to eat in the evening, but we kept the same word. So yeah, tea time is dinner time, evening meal.
So it's got nothing to do with tea?
No.
What about dog's breakfast? Surely it's got to do with dogs.
Right, well, dog's breakfast means a job badly done or something very confused. So if I was a tradesman and I tried to put up a wall but it was crooked, I'd say, oh, it's a bit of a dog's breakfast. It's not done well.
It's messy or something?
Yeah, messy, or maybe a mum or dad looking in their teenager's room saying, oh, it's a dog's breakfast, you have to do something about it.
Okay. All right. Can you give me another example?
Of a dog's breakfast?
Yeah, how can I use that?
Even if someone was a tennis player and their serve was going really badly, they might say, oh, it's been a dog's breakfast. They could say something like that. It means something badly done.
Okay, badly done. All right. Have a go, you mug.
So mostly hear it at the footy or maybe at the cricket.
Okay.
And it's giving someone encouragement, but also telling them they're not very good at the same time.
At the same time?
At the same time, yeah. So if a player's been playing poorly and the spectators are sick and tired, so he gets the ball, they do hope he'll do something good, but they think he probably won't. So have a go, you mug.
Okay.
It's like a criticism and an encouragement mixed together.
Okay. But what if I say, someone tells me, have a go?
That's okay. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't say you mug, it's just have a go, have a go. Yeah, you try. It's nice. Yeah.
All right. She'll be right.
She'll be right. So it's an easygoing attitude. Australia, New Zealand like to think we're pretty calm and relaxed people. So if there's a bit of a problem, it's a way of downplaying the problem, making it seem okay. So if my wall, if I've put up the wall and it's not absolutely perfect, but I say, oh, she'll be right. It's good enough. Okay. It's not fantastic, but it'll do. Okay. So another example would be if I'm worried about something, like if I had a driving test and you saw I was nervous, you'd say, oh, she'll be right, Stephen, she'll be right. And she isn't a person, it means everything or the situation.
It's got nothing to do with a female.
No. Okay. So it means the thing will go well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bob's uncle.
Okay, slightly more positive.
Okay.
I think in New Zealand we didn't use it at all. It's just Australian. It means it'll be good. It's fantastic. It's a good job done. Okay. Yeah, Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
No worries.
No worries. All right. So thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you,
that, Stephen. I hope people will benefit. I'm sure definitely people will benefit from that. And thank you.
Lovely. See you next time. Hard yakka.
Hard yakka.
Hard yakka.
Hard yakka.
Very good. Bludger.
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 Good.
I'm not a bludger.
No, you're not a bludger. My shout.
My shout.
My shout.
My shout.
Yep. Chukka sickie.
Chukka sickie.
Chukka sickie.
Chukka sickie.
Crook.
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 What's for tea?
What's for tea?
What's for tea?
What's for tea?
Dog's breakfast.
Dog's breakfast.
Dog's breakfast.
Dog's breakfast.
Have a go, you mug.
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 She'll be right.
She'll be right.
She'll be right. Yep. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.